Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I will be sharing with you the 5 habits that I picked up in my 20s that helped me become financially independent by the time I was 28 years old. Financial independence here is defined as the amount of money that you can generate that you don't have to work for money for the rest of your life. That is because that wealth itself will either attract more wealth through investments, or that capital you have can be then used to hire labor or virtual assistants or freelancers who will do the work for you, and you only have to give the judgments. So that state is the state of financial independence. So let's get into the video. The first habit I developed in my early 20s is that to always network with the people who want to be entrepreneurs in the future. And these are the people usually found in the entrepreneur society of the university. Or when sometimes alumni session happens, whoever is the person who is actually doing his or her own startup, working in startups, so on. Reason for that is that when you are spending time with entrepreneurs, especially at the early age, in the early 20s, entrepreneurs or would-be entrepreneurs who want to become entrepreneurs, you start developing the mindset that entrepreneurship is better than job. That is extremely important because there is no job in the world, period. No matter whatever everybody else tells you, there is no job in the world that will help you become financially independent before you are 30. You would always be working from paycheck to paycheck. So coming back, when you are spending time with entrepreneurs, your mindset will start getting rewired in your early 20s, and you would start thinking about becoming an entrepreneur. You would learn from the stories of these people. You would probably build connections as well that will help you in the form of mentorship or internships that you will then use to start your own business. So while I was hanging out with entrepreneurs and would-be entrepreneurs all the time, I knew 100% that I would be becoming an entrepreneur. And one of the stories that I can recall is that we had an alumni session, and about 12 different alumni, these seniors who were like in their 30s, came to our university, and we were about 25-30 students sitting in a class. And out of these 12 alumni who came to our class, 11 of them were doing jobs, good jobs, and one of them was entrepreneur. I remember after everybody spoke about their stories, when we had a networking session, I was the only one who went to that guy who was an entrepreneur, and everybody else in my batch went to other alumni who were doing jobs. And what these guys were doing: how did you write your CV? Can you refer me? Can I have internship? How to ace job interview questions, so on and so forth. These guys were there doing their own networking, and I was just asking him his story. How did you start? What do you do? So on and so forth. That is just one of the examples. I have dozens and dozens of such stories in my university where I just wanted to hang out with the would-be entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs already. So that's number 1. Number 2, always have a side hustle that can be anything. It doesn't have to be a scalable, amazing startup idea that's going to change the world to make you a millionaire. Nothing. Any side hustle that is making you money. It can be freelancing on the platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, so on. It can be building a YouTube channel, or it can be anything regarding the sales, working for commissions, or trying to pitch something, or it can be some ideas that you want to develop, you're working on, even if they don't see the light of the day. So this was the second habit. As I was hitting about third year of my university, I started selling t-shirts. So these were the t-shirts that I used to get printed from China, and I used to approach the different student societies in my university and tell them, okay, so you get your annual t-shirts with your logo. I can provide you for this much. So I'm selling 25 t-shirts here, 50 t-shirts there. Very simple. I'm making like $1 on each t-shirt, but that's it. That was one of the side hustles. And I remember very vividly the first time I was able to deliver my product, and I made probably $85 out of those t-shirts, and I was like, yes, I'm an entrepreneur. That is it. That was really the mindset. As I progressed into my university, went into my 4th year, I started 3 more different ventures. One was 27 Art House, where I was making websites, doing design work, made probably about $5,000 out of that. Ended after that, I was doing a crowdfunding startup which never saw the light of the day. I was doing another startup called Travel 50, in which the idea was that people can rent any travel gear for $50. It can be camera, it can be hiking gear, so on and so forth. Again, never saw the light of the day. The point is that I used to spend months thinking on these ideas, and for each idea I used to go all in. I didn't know the future back then. I didn't know that none of them are going to see the light of the day, or I'm not going to be working with these startups for the foreseeable future. But when I was working with them, I said, yes, this is it. This is the best idea in the world. I'm going to go all in. So just doing this exercise trained my mind again and again, got me in touch with people who were valuable lessons back then. When I finally started something that started seeing the light of the day and started making money and made me entrepreneur and all that, all those lessons came into play. But those were the habits of always having something on the side, habit of always thinking of the next idea. So that's your second habit. The third habit that will help you become financially independent is reading books. The earlier you do it, especially reading non-fiction books, the earlier you're gonna hit your financial freedom. I can guarantee you. I was late to the party. I started reading habitually at about the age of 25. I was not a reader before that. And as I started reading books, I was like, oh my God, what have I been doing for the major part of my life? That these books are just tremendous in value. So if you are still on those sidelines where you're like, I will be reading articles on the internet to gain knowledge, you're missing out big time. Because I used to be that, so I know you're missing out big time. So as soon as possible, start developing the habit of reading non-fiction books. And what are these books? Books that are real self-help books, biographies, anything that is based on the real data, mindsets, principles, so on. So I'll give you examples of 3 books that helped me tremendously in looking at the world and developing my life after that. One is, of course, The 4-Hour Work Week, which is by Tim Ferriss, which is the Bible of working for yourself, pretty much, right? 4-Hour Work Week pretty much became the framework of how I develop my business as well. 4-Hour Work Week is all about maximizing your output by minimizing your time. Then the second book was Millionaire Fastlane. Millionaire Fastlane tells you that there is a slow lane to become a millionaire, which is stay at a job or stay at a non-scalable business. And there is a fast way to become a millionaire, and that is to invent things. That invention of the things could be physical products or content which you create. So that book then gave me the right framework, the right strategy to went into the direction of content creation. And then the third book is called Magic of Thinking Big. You'll be like, oh my God, these thinking big and all that stuff. But among all these thinking big books, the Magic of Thinking book is pretty amazing. Again, all about positivity, having big mindsets, real case studies, real stories, and so forth. What these books do is that they do 2 things. First, they give you the roadmap, the strategies of these amazing people who have done amazing stuff and then immortalize them in their books. And secondly, these books make you spend time in the company of great authors, great minds. So while you are sharing that experience with the book, let's say you are reading 30 minutes to 1 hour before going to bed, that is the time you're spending in the company of that author. His mindset, his principles you're adopting. It's like having a friend, but that friend is like amazing. But so that friend you're always learning from. So that kind of levels up your average. So that's the habit number 3. Habit number 4 is to start creating content and providing value. What does that mean? I don't know a single person who is a famous content creator out in the ether who was not a content creator for himself or herself before becoming famous. Content creation is a habit. It helps you to immortalize your thought patterns, your mindsets, your principles in the form of video or in the form of journals. For me personally, I started journaling first, and every time I had a mindset, I wanted to say something, I learned something, I used to journal. And I was like, yeah, this is amazing. I want to share it with friends. I want to share it with other people. This mindset is amazing. Never shared it. Used to do it for myself. And I probably had about 250, 300 journals before I started realizing, okay, I want to start now recording this and putting on Instagram stories. My Instagram had like 200 followers back then, but I'm still sharing my thoughts, my lessons, things that are exciting me, not the selfies and how awesome and all that stuff. You know, this is what I'm eating, this is what I'm doing, not all that. The lessons, the mindsets, the things that I started thinking that other people would also find valuable. So that is how the journey started. And it was about 2 years of journaling and then just creating Facebook posts or Instagram stories for my friends, which was like 20 friends in total or 200 followers, before actually making content from a perspective of reaching thousands of people. So the idea here is that content creation is a habit. Develop it as a habit first, so it helps you think structurally and it helps you absorb things from the mindset of sharing things. Share it with yourself, sharing it with your friends. And then once this becomes a habit, it just becomes a no-brainer sharing it with the public. And then you can go into all directions of creating online courses, YouTube channels, masterclasses, Instagram posts, TikToks. There is no end to it. Now finally, the habit number 5 is to cut ruthlessly friends, people in your circle who are toxic, creating negativity, and keep adding people, keep investing in relationship with the people who are positive, who are in some way helping you learn anything. So as soon as you realize that you're the average of the top 5 people you interact with, your life will start changing. So this is a habit, always being aware of it. So for example, the top 5 friends that I have who keep changing as I evolve in life, but these 5 people in life are always something who are pulling you in directions through their mindsets, and those directions are amazing. One of them is, let's say, extremely good in structuring thoughts and articulating the big ideas of the world in a very simple way. I've learned from them. One of them is really good in humor. I love interacting with them. It subconsciously averages you up. One of them is really good in sales, for example. But whatever those people are, their careers, their paths, none of that matter. What matters is that all these people, the people you interact most with, should be the one that are just encouraging you instead of criticizing you. They should be the one who are non-toxic. They should be the one who are spreading positivity. They should be the one who have the habit of giving first instead of taking first. Once you start becoming that person yourself and start recognizing these traits in people, these what I call the first principle traits. First principle traits of spreading positivity, helping, caring, giving. All these traits in people are the traits that then help you move forward. What most of us are stuck in, that we see someone who is, let's say, higher in status with us or richer than us, or probably more intellectual than us, but they have on the first principle basis, they have negative traits like selfishness, making fun of us, criticizing us, spreading negativity, toxicity. They have these traits, but on a higher level, second principles level, they are rich, famous, whatever. So we start hanging out with them thinking that we will pick up these traits as well, but that's wrong. The idea is that you need to recognize people on the first principles basis, what their characters are. And once you're spending time with them, you would realize that you are just opening up more. You are able to experiment more. You're able to share more, and they're able to help you in positive reinforcements and also in giving you advices from a good place in the heart, and also connecting you with the right people, giving you advices, so on and so forth. So these were the habits that I picked up in my early 20s that then helped me become financially independent by the time I was 28. But that does not mean that I stopped using these habits. I still stand by these habits, still practice them in my life, and other habits as well that then help me in other things as well. If you would like to know about more habits across different dimensions, do let me know in the comments. Like this video, subscribe to this channel if you're liking this, and of course always keep telling me on Instagram, which is @waqashassn, or on my YouTube in comments, what are the other videos you would like to see. See you.